One of the busiest intersections in central New York is in Washington Mills. And one of the busiest kitchens in the area is also located near New Hartford in Washington Mills. It's a catering facility inside the Hannaford Plaza, Charlie's Pizza.
We just actually put together last year a 3,000 square foot catering facility, specifically for all of our catering needs to really support the community that we're in, even outside the area that we go to with all of our catering.
This is Charlie DiGristina, owner and operator of Charlie's Pizza, and this is Plate Night. What are we doing?
Well, we got a homemade potato and gnocchi. This is a family recipe. Actually, my wife's family recipe, so I might get in trouble for this, but I didn't have to sign any disclaimers or anything, so I might be okay.
This is just the potato whip.
This is just the potato whip.
Got it.
Yes. We're going to add a little salt and pepper. Okay. And we are going to crack some eggs. This is about 3 pounds of potato right here. So I'm using 4 eggs for this. So we mix the egg, the salt, pepper, and the potato together. And this is the messy part. This is the part that is not the most fun. It does get easier as it goes along, but you want to try to get a good mixture through your potato with the egg, the salt, and the pepper. Flour. Okay.
About 2.5 pounds of flour is kneaded in gradually. Not just a little bit.
No. We mix that right in. So I start mixing this in. As you can see, I'm just using a dough scraper, turning it. I do it on a sheet pan instead of the table just to obviously make things a little neater for me so the cleanup isn't so bad.
So now, could you do this at home in a mixer using a dough hook, or would you normally?
This is the way I do this. I make, I can't even tell you how many pounds of gnocchi that I make a week, and I don't use those precisely that, if the dough's worked too hard, your pasta will, it'll change the texture of it, the way it cooks. So this is the only way that I do it. I do it in certain batches. I don't do too much at one time to try to, quadruple a batch. Just like all our cooking here, Bill, like the stuff that you see behind me, I could use tilt skillets. There's a lot of different things that I can use, but I like that, I like that direct heat on all of our product. It does make a big difference. And I usually form it just like you see in little loaves of bread, in that style right there. Okay, and voila, that's the first process of our potato and gnocchi.
So the dough will then go into the cooler.
And in my freezer, I take the gnocchi after I cut it to form those shapes.
Got it.
On that pasta. So we did that ahead of time to make things a little easier. So we'll go back outside and you can help me roll some gnocchi, Bill.
After they're chilled, you add a little flour and roll them out.
Now it's personal preference on thickness, size. As long as you're boiling this at a vigorous boil, the gnocchi will cook properly. Thank you, Randy. Looks good.
Oh, I see what you're saying, because it doesn't always roll the way you want it to roll.
Yeah, no, it doesn't do it on its own. That's not bad. If things don't work out down at WIBX, maybe...
Think I have a shot?
You could be my gnocchi maker.
All right, so then roll it into a little flour there. And,
and we'll hit that. That's actually pretty good, Bill. I'm impressed. Okay, so now we'll take the gnocchi out, okay, the roll, and we'll simply cut it.
Based on your preference.
Yeah, like I said, when you go back to the store-bought ones, everyone looks the same. So you're not going to have that here. There'll be different sizes. Okay, and it's not done with a machine. It's all done by hand.
So the dough is cut on average 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch, depending on preference, and there are gnocchis.
And then from here, like I said, I take these in the freezer. We're making hundreds of pounds a week. We'll go in the freezer with them.
If you're making them at home, you could drop them into boiling water and have them on the spot. Anything left over, freeze them up for the next time.
One of the most important things is that you can see that this water is boiling, vigorous boil. If it doesn't, you can't put your gnocchi in. You'll ruin the whole dish.
So with a good boil, you're looking at about 2 to 3 minutes for the fresh pasta. Then it's off to the sauce. You can use a pesto, in this case, a tomato sauce.
We're going to add a little bit of fresh basil to our sauce, okay? And I don't like to over-sauce the gnocchi. I really want you to have a nice flavor of everything, of the nice potato gnocchi, the fresh marinade sauce, the basil. I don't like any one thing overpowering the other. It's a nice balance. Okay, so we're going to take the gnocchi. You can see that it's floating well. This has only been about a 3-minute cook. We're going to drain them off.
The general rule with a homemade pasta is when it floats, it's done.
Okay, get all that water out of them. And then into our pan. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of fresh grated Romano over the top. You know, why not? Maybe just a little bit more basil. You can never put enough of that in. We'll toss those around.
A light coat of marinara sauce and then the test. Are these really lighter?
You say these are lighter. They are lighter. These are very light. I love this dish. But this one, I have to tell you, is superior.
Yeah.
They are very light.
Yeah. You can have a meal, a bowl of these, and not, walk out uncomfortable.
Because traditionally, they're very heavy.
Yes.
So with gnocchis out of the way, it's time for the chef's special.
Next dish.
Okay, so we have, this is a Utica tradition. I mean, pretty much anywhere you go, you'll see a chicken saltimbocca on the menu. Everyone, I guess there might be a little bit of a variation, but predominantly very much the same.
Great dish.
I use a good olive oil, garlic, basil. Some use a regular white button. I mean, there's a variety of mushrooms that you can use. I like the portobello mushrooms. They're a little more meatier. It gives great coloring to the sauce when you're finished with it, when you really bleed out all that flavor. I actually add a little bit of roasted peppers to it as well. We have some chicken stock, some fresh mozzarella that I finish with at the end, and then it's served over our Utica Greens, which I put some aside here. You just simply take them and wrap, just like you see here. Okay? That's as easy as it is.
The chicken cutlets are seasoned, wrapped in prosciutto, and then pounded to tenderize and flatten out.
Maybe this is a good job, Bill, if you got someone on air that's a little disgruntled.
Yeah, I get that every once in a while. You want to pound out somebody.
I'll let you take this to the studio.
Yeah, that's good. We would no longer have a telephone.
And the cooking is next.
We're going to start off with a little good olive oil. It's quick. And you can see we're just pan sauteing these very simply. Now, as soon as I turn you can see I'm starting to get a little color on that.
Yep.
As soon as I turn mine over, I like to put the portobello mushrooms right in. Okay, I put them on the other side of the pan. And one thing that you'll notice happening is, because you've seen all that oil in there, don't forget to season your portobellos. One thing about the portobello mushroom is it's like a sponge. So you will see that oil just soak into.
They almost plump up. They do. They plump up a little bit.
And that's one of the reasons why I use portobello. So now towards the end, I'll throw my roasted peppers in, and I'll put in like a dollop of butter. Okay? So you can see both sides got some good coloring. We pulled all that flavor out. Now we'll add our sherry. Okay? The sherry wine sauce. And that, obviously will pull all the flavors that we have, stuck to that pan. At this point right now, I will add my chicken stock. And I like to add a little touch of my marinade. And you can see how small amount that I put in. I'll swirl these together. All your ingredients are in your dish, okay? But now it's a process of cooking it correct. If it's too long, your butters, your oils, it will separate and they'll break. If it's too short, you just won't bring all those flavors together, and that's the most important part to really any dish. And this is a simple recipe. So now what I do is I take this I get some fresh mozzarella. I'll put it on top of each chicken, and then I take it, and this goes right to the oven. All right, we'll bring this back over to the stove. Just a minute ago in the pan. This is our greens. Okay, so we'll throw some, and then traditionally, I mean, in this city, it's chicken saltimbocca, veal saltimbocca. It's always been served over Utica Greens.
Got it.
Okay, and I'm going to set each piece of chicken. You can see I got the wet mozzarella melted a little bit. We got nice coloring all the way around. Okay, and you can see that wonderful coloring, and you get that from the portobello mushroom.
Right.
And then I just simply take this, and I'll just run this right over the top.
And there it is, a classic Utica dish with a ton of flavor. Chicken saltimbocca.
Fantastic.
Great dish.
Thank you very much.
Available all the time here at Charlie's.
Yes.
Catering center, perfect for graduation parties, wedding receptions, anywhere. You handle it all.
All of it.
Nice.
Yep.
Going back tomorrow.